And she said, according to her attorneys, that she would welcome clemency from President Trump, and then she would start talking there. And President Trump is someone who has been faced with scrutiny again over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. They had nearly a 15-year relationship there, a friendship, and you write about that in your book. You say they were similar in the sense that they were both outer borough kids. And at the end of your book, and you wrote this 5 years ago, that you say out of all of Epstein's past associates, Trump has the most to lose and perhaps the most to want to hide. 5 years later, as we sit here right now in President Trump's second term, multiple outlets are reporting that back in May, the Attorney General Bondi, she was briefing President Trump on the DOJ's review of the Epstein Files, and she told him that he was named in those files. Do you still feel the same way, that President Trump has the most to lose here?
Oh, I do. And I also think that now that he is once again back in the White House for a second term, that he has a responsibility to the American public. And even before we see or hopefully see, what's in the FBI files that they're hiding, that they refuse to give transparency to the American public, I would like to see them release the specific references to President Trump in the files, because we know that there's multiple references to him in those files. He's our sitting president in the White House. We should know how he plays into the FBI documents. They may be references to things that don't have anything to do with the criminality, but they could be embarrassing things about him, things that he's said to some of these women, actions that he may have taken with Jeffrey Epstein. It's important for us to see what the president's involvement has been with Jeffrey Epstein. And I have to tell you, Brittany, while he has never been accused of any wrongdoing by law enforcement related to Jeffrey Epstein, and has denied knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, it is disturbing that we are continuing to learn new details about the depth of their relationship. At the time of the 2024 campaign, a former Sports Illustrated model named Stacy Williams came forward to the New York Times and the Guardian newspaper in England and claimed in allegations that back in the 90s she was a casual girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein's, and that one day Jeffrey Epstein took her to visit Donald Trump at his office at Trump Tower. She claims when she went up there that Donald Trump at the time groped her breast, groped other parts of her body, and that Jeffrey Epstein was watching this from a few feet away. And she said, as she termed it, this was a twisted game between these two men. This was a twisted game between these two best friends. Now that's a disturbing allegation, that Donald Trump groped a young woman in the presence of Jeffrey Epstein. His campaign at the time, of course, vehemently denied this model's allegations and dismissed it as nothing more than a political hit job. But again, we don't know we weren't there. We don't know exactly what happened, but we do know that Donald Trump has a very checkered history when it comes to young women. As I wrote in my previous book, All the President's Women, Donald Trump and the Making of a Predator, there was more than 24 disturbing allegations of groping and sexual misconduct against him over the course of many decades, dating back to the 1970s. And of course, Donald Trump was found liable of sexual abuse in a civil court in New York in the case of E. Jean Carroll, who won $80 million in damages from Donald Trump, money that she is still trying to collect from the president. So there's a well-documented history of Donald Trump and allegations of sexual misconduct. And all you have to do is listen once again